Hey, it's Kim Komando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to Komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it.
Yeah. What will they think of next? You've heard of Shazam. That's where you play part of a song and then Shazam tells you the name and who's singing it. Well, thank goodness for new tech, because now we have Shazam. Yeah. It compares photos against its database of some 9,000 pictures of different cheeses. And it says that it looks to identify key features, including the size and shape of the mold. All right. So you always know what kind of cheese that you're eating after you take the label or the packaging off? Yes, super handy. I mean, so many people are downloading this app that it's just blowing up. There's debris everywhere. Oh, yes. Welcome to Kim Komando today, because after all, I'm Kim Komando, and because tech never stops. And let's get this hour started with 5 things that you need to know about tech that's happening right now. And we're going to start with what Warren Buffett calls rat poison. Yes, I'm talking about cryptocurrency. You know, and most of the time, the best investment advice is always to remain calm. Do not panic. But if you're heavily invested in cryptocurrency, now is not one of those times. I don't know if you've ever heard of The Spectator. It's a highly respected British weekly. In fact, it's the oldest magazine in the world. And it's just one of many that are sounding these crypto alarms with good reason. Well, there's a story written by Ross Clark. It's called Crypto is Dead. Now, I'm not going to go that far, but it is a fact that as an investment, cryptocurrencies of all types, they are in big trouble right now. CNBC reports the crypto experiment is unraveling. Their words, not mine. 40% of all crypto investors are now underwater, and here's why. Bitcoin, in particular, is down some 55% from its all-time high just last November. And as The Spectator writes, with cryptocurrencies, it's not so much that it crashed, but that maybe crypto has become boring. In January of 2018, Warren Buffett said, in terms of cryptocurrencies, I can say with almost certainty that they will all come to a bad ending. Flash forward to now, that's when he just called it rat poison. But yesterday afternoon, Terra USD, also known as UST, the so-called stable coin, it was created to maintain a one-to-one lock with the US dollar. Well, it plunged to 26 cents. There's more. In the first quarter report to shareholders, Coinbase, that's a really big company that you can use to buy, sell, and trade digital currency. It lost almost $500 million and about 20% of its customers. That's all in just 3 months. But this is important. Hidden in the report this morning, should Coinbase declare bankruptcy, depositors could lose everything. Somewhere, Warren Buffett is watching over all of this, but self-custody of your crypto is actually key. All right, number 2, let's talk about BNPL. TikTok influencers are having a field day, just buying thousands of dollars in trendy clothing, which they call their hauls, as they convince their followers to do the same. And they all have a way to do it. It's called debt. Yes, it's the hottest new TikTok discovery, buy now, pay later. The problem with credit cards is that they can max out pretty fast. But a group of brand new companies by the name of Zip, Klarna, Firm, Afterpay, they will extend credit on the spot. Maybe you've seen it even when you're checking out of your online stores. And it breaks up the total cost into 4 or 5 monthly payments. So if something costs $500, you can have it right now for about $100, which of course makes it difficult for inexperienced consumers to really know the real costs and just how much debt that they're actually piling up. So I have an idea. Before we forgive all college debt, let's find out how much money each person is asking to be forgiven owes to these buy now, pay later companies. All right, number 3, watch out for AirTags in your cars. Of course, you know the AirTag is these little, say, quarter-sized devices that Apple released that you can track your things. I went on my dog and my mountain bike and my car, my purse, and of course on my keys. But if someone wants to track you, all they need to do is to pair an AirTag to their phone, drop it inside your car, your purse, or briefcase without your knowledge. And the tag will show its location at all times. So if your phone suddenly notifies you of a brand new AirTag that you did not place nearby, this is a serious warning. Now, Apple does have an Android app that you can get from the Google Play Store to detect AirTags. But the problem is that you have to manually scan for them. So if you have a reason to worry, check your car, your personal stuff, everything around you all the time, or you can just buy an iPhone. Number 4, smart handguns are coming. Yes, I said that. Pistols that will only fire if the owner is authenticated by a fingerprint and possibly by a PIN number. A Reuters report shed light on these smart guns, and 2 companies are releasing models. Lodestar Works has a 9mm handgun, and Smart Guns, that's with letter Z, has a similar model. And the Lodestar gun has a fingerprint reader that unlocks the gun in microseconds, or you can use an app on your phone or a PIN pad. Now, all this sounds well and good if the smart gun technology works when you need it. I mean, in self-defense, it's not like you can say, excuse me, can you just wait while I open an app on my phone so I can pull out my weapon? Plus, anything smart really becomes, yes, hackable. And in 2014, hackers found a way to remotely jam a smart gun's signals and actually fire a gun that was locked. So smart guns are coming, but they also have to have cybersecurity smarts. And finally, let's talk about ransomware. Wow, this is an unbelievable story. A single ransomware attack has caused a 158-year-old college in Illinois to close its doors forever. That's right. Lincoln College was founded in 1864 here in Lincoln, Illinois. It was modern, offering associate, bachelor's, master's program, and amazingly saw record-breaking student enrollment in fall of 2019. Well, then, of course, COVID came. So students started studying online. Others deferred classes until COVID receded. But then in a 1-2 punch this past December, Lincoln's entire computer network, its employee files, fundraising, student records, grades, payroll, everything, I'm talking about everything was lost in one ransomware attack. The lesson, by simply investing in a top-notch IT department with a really qualified staff, this disaster would not have happened. It's so sad. Really, it is. Speaking of, I got this DM the other day from Dave in Chicago. He says, hey, Kim, I work in tech support, and I thought you got a kick out of this. I was working with a woman in marketing and told her to right-click on the open desktop. She said, okay, I'll do that. Then I said, hey, did you see a pop-up menu? And the gal was trying to help. She said, no. And I said, okay, well, right-click again. Did you see a pop-up menu now? And she says, no. And then I told her, I said, okay, can you tell me what you have done up to this point? And she actually said, Kim, I'm not making this up. You told me to right click. So I wrote click on a piece of paper. Oh, gosh, can you imagine? All right, coming right back, we have all of your great phone calls. We're talking about Mayo Clinic on your Apple Watch, some photos to always have on your phone, and of course, all of your fantastic phone calls here on Kim Komando Today. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. And how about we start with Andrew? Hello there, Andrew. Glad to have you on board with us.
Thank you. Good evening. So, I'm in the market for a new laptop, and for years my dad and I would listen to talk radio, and you would cut in and do a small segment, and so I thought of you for some suggestions. Yeah.
So what do you want the laptop to do?
Well, it's going to be a basic at-home use computer, checking email, browsing the web, small letters.
Good stuff. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this live together on the air, okay? Mm-hmm. Is that on Komando.com, which is my website, we have something called a laptop quiz. And so you and I are going to take the quiz together. Okay. And then at the end, we recommend the laptop for you. So if you want to take it again, you just go to Komando.com/laptop-quiz, or you can just go Google search Komando.com laptop quiz. So we're going to do it together. Okay. So the first question in our quiz is, what's your budget? Is it under $350, up to $650, up to $1,000, or you are going crazy over $1,000?
Up to $650.
Okay, we're going to select that. Okay, now, next question. Do you have an OS preference? You want Windows, Chrome, or anything will do?
Looking for Windows.
Okay, now you notice there was no Apple choice because those laptops started at $1,000. So we're going to select Windows.
Right.
And now it says, next question that we ask you in the Komando.com laptop quiz. What will you be using the laptop for? Email, streaming, general work, or school?
Okay, email and general work.
Okay, well, emails, are you going to be streaming a lot?
No.
Okay, so we're going to take
yeah.
general work. Okay.
Okay.
Now, do you want to use external monitors with this laptop? Do you want to use 2, 1, or none?
I would like to use one.
Okay, 1, we'll take that. Do you need the 10 key built in? That's the number off to all the numbers off to the right on the keyboard. Do you need that?
I prefer it.
Okay, we're going to say yes to. I like it too. I do like it too. All right, so now it says, let's see what our laptop finder quiz says. Here you go. An Acer Aspire, 15.6 inch. You don't have to write it down. I'm going to send you the link to this.
Okay.
And it has an Intel Core i5 grid processor, quad-core processor, 8 gigs of RAM. Let's see, SSD, so it's fast. It's going to be light, 256 gigs. And it's steel gray, and it's $526.66 and has an 8-hour battery life. So,
All right.
now you went through our official laptop finder quiz, and we picked out the perfect laptop for you. And so what I'm going to do is post a link to it over at Komando.com inside the community. Or if you want to take the laptop finder quiz, you can do that too. Just head over to Komando.com and search for laptop finder quiz. And it really walks you through all the steps that you need. And then we will pick the perfect laptop for you. Andrew, say hello to your dad for me. And thanks for listening. All right, John, you're up next. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Kim. I appreciate you taking my call. Longtime listener. My mother is now in assisted living, and she has a pretty severe case of dementia. And operating a cell phone has just become extremely difficult for her. And I've been trying to research and find some type of a communication system that would be easy for her to operate. For example, maybe we could call her and she could either answer it vocally, or even she wouldn't even have to answer. We would just, come right on and could begin talking to her. Could you help me find something like that?
Yes. As a matter of fact, this is fabulous. And this is the perfect use of this technology. Is that Amazon has their Echo Show. The Echo Show is the one with the video screen, okay?
Uh-huh.
You need to buy 2, one for you and one for your mom's room. It works on Wi-Fi. And after you set it up, all you have to do is say, drop in on mom. And in 10 seconds, her camera turns on. And you can say, hey, Mom, how are you? It's John. Just wanted to say hello, see how your day's going. And she can talk to you without touching anything. Now, accordingly, she can say, drop in on John. And then your camera comes on, and you can have a conversation with her. If you know that there's certain type of music that might be therapeutic for her to listen to, you could play that music on her device.
Okay.
If there are photos that you'd like to show, you could show those photos on her device.
Okay.
And it really is just so heartwarming when because I've seen this in action, when families can connect like this.
So you're recommending the Amazon Echo system?
No, Echo Show is what it's called. The Amazon Echo Show.
Echo Show.
They have a couple. The Echo Show 5 is $50. And 5 is 5-inch screen. Okay. The Echo Show 8 is about $90, and the 8 stands for an 8-inch screen. The Echo Show 10 is the newest and greatest. The newest and greatest is 10-inch screen, and it's $250. But the reason why it's $250 is that the camera will follow her around the room.
Oh.
Okay? So if she's walking around or whatever it is, it's not like, hey, Mom, come back into view, right? Is that it will follow her around. They have an upgraded program with this too. I don't think you're going to need it because she's in assisted living, but for like $20 a month is that you can have a circle of support, they say, so other family members could tap into it. But I don't think you really need this. Even if your brother, sister, or somebody else wants a show, they can also drop in on Mom They can, and she can drop in on them. She can have video calls or whatever it is. It's such a fabulous use of technology. It really is. I think it's exactly what you're looking for, John.
It is. It sounds very much like it. So anyone that wanted to use the device would need a similar device to communicate with it.
I think it would be best. You could use a regular Amazon Echo, but with the Show, it gives you the video. So,
right.
So you can pick up the Echo Show 5. It's 5-inch for $50.
Yeah,
right. But Mom doesn't have to do a thing. Mom doesn't have to pick up the phone, touch a button. You just say, drop in on Mom, and she's there. And how heartwarming is that? John, thank you so much for your call. Let me know how it works out for you, okay? Those Echo Shows are really fabulous devices. They really are. We've got a lot of information about how to use them, how to set them up over at Komando.com with K, of course. That's Komando.com. All right, let's talk about your Apple Watch for just a second, because the sheer amount of tech that we carry with us each day, it's staggering. I mean, your smartphone conducts, listen to this, millions of more calculations per second than all the combined guidance system computers that were used in the first moon landing. Wow. So if you wear an Apple Watch, its powerful onboard computer could actually save your life. Now, of course, they're preloaded with a lot of sensors to monitor your heart. You can see them all on the back of the watch. And they can easily detect AFib that can greatly increase your risk of stroke and heart failure. It can even take your own electrocardiogram and ECG at home. Now, all this is going to the next level. I love technology. The Mayo Clinic has an even more powerful algorithm for the Apple Watch that's almost as accurate as a 12-lead ECG that you have in the hospital. So if you have heart disease of any kind, talk about the Apple Watch with your doctor right away. All right, still to come this hour, of course, we have some photos that you're going to be sharing on your phone and your phone number, how to stop sharing that. And of course, we have more of your phone calls here on Kim Komando Today. Okay, coming up later on this hour, emojis. Okay, I know you sent a happy face and maybe a little kissy there or a little heart. Well, some emojis have hidden sex meanings. I know. I got to tell you more about those still to come later on this hour. But first, let's talk about photos. Your phone's photo library is good for more than just selfies and pictures of food for Instagram. There are 8 photos you should always have at your fingertips. And that starts, of course, with your vaccination card. We're not going to go politics here, but if you have one, put a picture of it on your phone, take a pic, and this way you always have it within reach. I also have pictures of my car's license plates and VIN numbers, just in case a car goes missing, along with my auto insurance cards, my medical and dental insurance cards. Now, when you're traveling, this is super important. You take pictures of your rental car before you drive away, and after you turn it in, and if you are going to be renting any type of home, take photos of your Airbnb. I do that when I check in and check out too. It also has other benefits. Your phone will geotag the Airbnb's location, so you always get directions back, or you can always show the address to your Uber or Lyft driver too. Oh, I heard this joke. This is so funny. Listen, speaking of photos, Amal and Juan are identical twins. Now, their mother only carries one baby photo in her wallet. Do you want to know why? Because if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Oh, all right. How about we go back to the phones with Mary? Hello there, Mary.
Hi, Kim. I want to thank you so much for taking my call and your staff helping me to make this call possible. We just love listening to you in Suffolk, Virginia.
Well, thank you.
And you're always my go-to person when I have computer or internet issues or questions, so thank you again. I guess you want me to give a brief intro of what's going on here, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me what's happening.
Okay. I'm a senior citizen in Suffolk, and I have an autistic son. I moved in with my parents so that I could take care of them and raise him, and everything was going fine until they all died. And then a local attorney decided that my inheritance should be his. And this started clearly in 2015, although it had been going on since 2006, and my father had been suspicious of something. So he asked for an accounting, and this attorney wouldn't give it to him. And my father got very nervous, and so he decided he better change everything. So he started changing everything, and the attorney started a guardianship on him, so he couldn't do anything. And my father then turned around and said to me, well, you need to sue him because I don't think I have anything left. So my father died, and I sued the man. Okay. And the man decided that he would have my attorney that was helping me and me arrested. And then he decided he would have my attorney disbarred so she couldn't help me. So I got another attorney. And then he had that attorney disbarred.
Oh my gosh! You know what? This is a. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I can't help you with legal advice, but this sounds really convoluted. How can I help you?
Well, what I need to do is I need to hire somebody who's going to have the strength, the courage, and the big name enough that they aren't scared by these people, and they can come in here and they can clean it up.
Okay, so
this attorney has taken everything, so that now he wants to sell my family home and all the land it sits on, so he can keep paying himself.
So you need to.
I'm thinking to GoFundMe.
Okay, all right. So I was going to say that. So you need to raise some money in order to do that. Okay, so
yes.
So you can set up a GoFundMe, right? And you could also do it through Facebook, but GoFundMe is probably the easiest way to do it, unless you have a lot of Facebook friends. But you can always direct them to GoFundMe there. So you set up the GoFundMe. Now the big thing is that you have to tell the story. Okay. Now. Mm-hmm. You want to tell the story with facts, and I know that you have the facts because I heard them when you were talking. Uh-huh. So you want to be able to give people a timeline that this is when you moved in with your parents, this is when you had your son, this is, how long you took care of your parents, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know about guardianship or estates or any of that other stuff. But right. So do all this in a narrative, and then you're going to need a video, okay? Because people don't like to read. You know that, right? They don't like to read. Okay. So you have to put this together. Now, this is going to be the hard part. You're going to put it together succinctly in about a minute and a half, and you want to be able to tell your story and give the highlights. And then if people want to read more about it and learn more about it, then you can give that whole narrative in the GoFundMe. But explain how much money that you need. What is your goal? Is it $20,000, $50,000, whatever it may be? What does this mean to you? How much are you going to dedicate towards this money towards taking care of your son? Because you're not going to live forever, right? Okay. So
that's right.
So we've got to make sure that Sonny Boy is taken care of as well. So, So you want to be able to put all of this in a story and tell the emotions. You have emotion. I can hear it in your voice, Mary. I can hear it. Yes. And show pictures of you with your folks. Show pictures in this video, your folks with your son. And say exactly what do you want. I want to retain ownership of the family home. This is where I grew up. So, whatever it may be. But you have to tell people your story, and you have to tell them what you're planning on using the money for, because people aren't going to donate to it if they don't really understand it, right? So that's where it goes back into the whole thing. Now, I just did a podcast about telling a story, and I want you to take a listen to that. It's under Kim Komando Explains. It's for podcasters, but you're going to be telling your story as well. And then you want to spread the word. Ask everybody in your community, anybody on Facebook, to start spreading the word. You go have a cup of coffee in town, ask them to spread the word. And that's how it starts getting some momentum. If you need me to look at it, just let me know. And thank you for your call and your kind words.
All right, it's time now for a great tip here on Kim Komando today. And this week is brought to you by Angie. All right, let's talk about your phone number. Okay, it can do a lot of damage when it's in the wrong hands. It's an easy way for someone to connect you with a leaked password, or even to intercept those two-factor authentication codes that you're getting. Well, I have a clever way for you to get a second phone number to use for dating, shopping, social media, and more
Best of all, yes, you don't need to carry another phone. I know so many people do that. They carry two phones. I'm like, why are you doing that? Okay, you can use an app on your existing phone for the second line. And when the second line rings, it's going to come through the app so you always know which line that the caller used. Now, you can use this trick for just a short time, like to connect with someone that you want to buy, say at Facebook Marketplace or whatever, or you can keep it long term. Now, the simplest way is to use Google Voice. It's free. It works for both domestic and international phone calls, texts, and voicemails. Or you could use a burner app. It gives you a second phone number. It uses your data plan or Wi-Fi to make and receive calls and texts. Now, a burner app costs about $5 a month. Google Voice is free. So which one do we like better? Yes, the free one. All right. Hang tight. Stay right where you are, because coming up we have more of your phone calls, as well as we're going to be talking about how you can get an instant disposable email address. So this way, we just talked about keeping your phone number private, and now I'm going to help you keep that email address private so you don't get loaded with spam. So stay right where you are. All right, before we go back to your phone calls, let's talk about disposable email addresses, because anytime you buy something online or you sign up for a newsletter, it only takes a few days for your inbox to be inundated with junk email. Well, there's a trick to get disposable email addresses on the fly. Now, when you sign up for a newsletter or buy something online, your email address could get sold to other marketers. Now, the next time you need to provide your email address for something you're not sure of, you type your username, then the plus sign, then the name of the site at gmail.com. Okay, and that's the secret. That's why you need a Gmail address, because Gmail will ignore what comes after the plus sign, so you'll still get email to your address. And if you start getting some email that you didn't subscribe to, you just check the email address that was sent, then you actually know who sold your email address. I mean, I'm telling you, I never should have given my real email address to Rolex, because now I'm forever placed on some kind of watch list. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Hello there, Roger. Welcome to the show today.
Hi, Tim. I am really honored to be on your show. I'm a big fan, and I love your emails, and I've learned so many different things, even from the idea of having a separate book to have your passwords indexed and everything. And that's really great. And also how to get rid of and delete stuff as to where you've been in Google and even YouTube.
That's and it's a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how much tracking really goes on.
Yeah. And I do, all of a sudden I see ads come up because I went to this place or the other place, and
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, is that a coincidence? If it is, I should play the lottery. I think because I might be able to win now. So what's going on with you, Raj? How can I help you?
Okay. I want to know what to do when you're puppy scammed. I went to this site called Classy Beagle. And, of course, they have these available beagles, and they're all cute. And I had picked this one called Luna. It was a female beagle and 8 weeks old. And I thought that, it looked legitimate, but I turned around and I asked, how much would it be in total to have this beagle?
Okay.
And I was told it was $450 for the beagle and $200 for delivery, so it'd be $650. So I said, okay, that sounded good, and I wanted to do that. And so they turned around and they said that they wouldn't take a debit card or a credit card, but that they would go through Zelle.
Okay.
And at that time, I didn't realize it because, Zelle is through Chase.
Yeah.
And
there's no guarantee. Yeah, I mean, once you
send protection,
and you would think that with a big company like that, like, if it's almost like, because you would think like, well, on my credit cards, I'm only liable for the first $50, right? And then I have some help, but once that money goes, buddy, it's like, it's gone. And so, how much should they? So I'm taking it from the story, Roger, that you didn't get the beagle and you're out. How much money?
$2,100.
Okay, so here's what you have to do. There's a website called the Internet Crime Complaint Center. It's
Yes.
ic3.gov. And so,
Right.
and that's the FBI. They really do investigate crimes that are committed on the internet. I mean, you may think like, because that's what I thought too. I'm like, oh, how can they really take care of all these people, and how can they really track everything down? When they actually do investigate everything. So you file a complaint there. You can also file a complaint with the BBB. You can also write a review of this website, because odds are you might be able to help somebody else so that they don't get puppy scammed. It's a huge problem because especially during the pandemic, everybody wanted a puppy. Now I understand that a lot of puppies are going back to the shelter. So if you are looking for a dog, you ought to be looking at the animal shelters. As a matter of fact, in my neighborhood, there was one person who said, like, oh, I got this dog to the pandemic. Now I don't want the dog. And I'm like, well, why did you get it in the first place? So anyway, here nor there. Look on shelters if you do need a dog, and file that complaint at the IC3, and then set up a blog post, do a Facebook post, Instagram, all your social media. Tell your story, because odds are somebody else might be searching for the same person, the same type of beagle, and then we don't want them to get scammed either. Roger, I wish I had better news for you. Hey, if you're not getting all of my newsletters, they're free. You're totally missing out. You want to head over to komando.com/subscribe. And once you're there, you enter your email address. And I promise you, we're not going to sell you off to a whole bunch of spammers at all. Never sell your email address. And so at komando.com/subscribe, that's where you can sign up for the breaking news alerts. We also have tips of the day, which I think they're essential, as well as you should sign up for the current and the weekend updates. So, of course, there are other newsletters. I think we have 12 in all. And you can also set your preferences, which is super important, so that this way we only send you email that you're interested in. So if you like Windows, check that box. Same thing for Android and Apple and smart home and travel and good stuff like that. So that address is komando.com/subscribe to get my free newsletters. All right, we have emojis for everything now, and some have hidden meanings, which means that the message that you're trying to send using these emojis, well, you're making an innocent message, but other people might be taking it a different way. So let's say that, I don't know, it's a big Sunday, and you're going to be making eggplant lasagna, and you want to tell your friends about they should come over for eggplant lasagna. Well, sending an eggplant emoji alone means something naughty. So make sure that you actually say that we're going to be having eggplant lasagna. Next, a mermaid. So very cute. But there are people who send it because the mermaid is holding a fork, and I'm sure you can figure out why that has hidden meaning. Some people with the Cancer astrological star sign have a reason to be careful, because if you look at that a certain way, you might see a certain sex position. And then there are more emojis with hidden meanings. The rhinoceros emoji has a horn. The strawberry emoji, well, it looks ripe. A camel has a hump in real life, and the camel has a hump on the emoji too. And even the OK sign, I know, it's like, wow, even the OK sign has a second hidden meaning. This is why we can't have nice things. Hey, thanks for joining me. And don't forget, you can always find me on the website. That's komando.com with a K.